Established in the year 2000, the LFA program was initially a relatively straightforward research and development project. But it was the influence of one man, who would later become the chief engineer of LFA, Haruhiko Tanahashi, that would see the program transformed into the most important Lexus project since the original LS400 in the late 1980s. Under Tanahashi's stewardship, Project LFA became a complete vehicle development program, staffed by talented engineers who shared a passion for both high-performance driving and unconventional engineering methods. Working from a blank canvas, the close-knit LFA team drew up an exhaustive list of 500 key assets, must-haves that the LFA should achieve. These musts would later become the template from which all future Lexus vehicles would be developed and evaluated against. Within a year of Tanahashi-san's arrival, work began on the LFA's V10 engine. Entirely unique to the LFA, the 4.8-litre engine became the heart of the program, influencing onboard technology, driving dynamics and overall vehicle character. The compact V10 became such a centrepiece that a rethink of vehicle instrumentation had to occur when it was discovered that the traditional analogue instruments could not keep up with the LFA's 9,000 RPM rev limit, a limit that could be reached in just 0.6 of a second. With the engine sorted, the team moved on to the prototype body stage, and by mid-2003, the first LFA prototype was finished, built completely from aluminium. 16 months later, in October 2004, an LFA prototype lapped the Nürburgring Nordschleife circuit for the first time. 5 challenging years after the project began, Lexus pulled the wraps off the first LFA design study at the 2005 Detroit Motor Show, stunning onlookers. It was here that the legend of the first Lexus F vehicle was born, well before any hint of what was to arrive later in the form of the ISF. The first LFA prototype made extensive use of aluminium alloy for its chassis and bodywork, but a radical rethink of the LFA's key objectives led to the team's decision to switch to carbon fibre construction. The decision to employ carbon fibre reinforced plastic for the LFA's construction may have derailed lesser development teams, but the LFA's engineers relished the challenge. Rather than outsourcing the process to a third party, the group drew on its parent company's rich heritage of loom making and weaving to develop composite technologies in-house. As a result, Lexus had effectively reinvented the process for producing carbon fibre, and in turn built a vehicle with a body that was lighter, stiffer and stronger than traditional alloy-bodied supercars. Lexus, renewed by its breakthrough in carbon fibre material process and chassis design, then took on arguably the most challenging of tasks, the Nürburgring. With early LFA prototypes already spotted lapping the circuit, the Nürburgring was the ideal location for the development and testing of the LFA to its limits. The 20.8-kilometre circuit offers every possible driving situation, including hairpin turns, high-speed corners, 250 km/h jumping spots, long straights where speeds of 300 km/h are regularly reached, as well as rough and undulating road surfaces, perfect for the team's requirements. Under the stewardship of its president and motorsport fanatic Akio Toyoda, and long-serving Lexus test driver Hiromu Naruse, Lexus entered the LFA into the punishing Nürburgring 24-hour race in 2008. The objective was simple: to push the LFA as hard as possible under the most testing of conditions. With over 40 years' experience at the Nürburgring, Naruse-san was well equipped to highlight a vehicle's flaws and weaknesses. He raised issues with the LFA engineering team about how the LFA performed and how it talked to the driver. Toyoda-san himself joined the race team in May 2009, a clear indication of his enthusiasm and confidence in the car and the development team behind it. Over 5 years of competitive racing, the LFA race team broke, rebuilt and engineered the LFA to withstand the trials of such a testing environment, breaking through in 2011 with a class victory at the Nürburgring 24 Hour. Although Naruse-san's input in the LFA lives on, he tragically died on roads surrounding the circuit in 2010. His final work was on the LFA Nürburgring edition, a track-focused model that weighs less than the standard LFA, features a larger aerodynamic package and a Nürburgring-specific suspension tune. Finalised by the engineering team that worked so closely with him, their work was vindicated in August, when the LFA Nürburgring edition rocketed around the circuit in 7 minutes 14.64 seconds, the fastest time by any series production vehicle in history. Set on road tyres, the time also cemented the LFA's position as one of the most desirable supercars of the decade. And for the first time in its development history, the LFA had tamed the track that gave birth to it.